So let's toss it over to Toby and Sind.
It is game 3, it's the decider, but who this time around will take the 2-1 and that winner's bracket position? OG and EG, interesting drafts once again. It's always interesting when you ban out a Mag and IO, but you're loving a nice little switch up from OG as far as the lane rolls go.
Yeah, they gave away the Enchantress again, and as the panel was talking about, this Enchantress, wait, they picked Sanking, this Enchantress has got to be support now, and that's why they picked the Anti-Mage. This is the worst match. I love playing Sanking. It's one of my favorite offlaners. I hate playing against Anti-Mage. It is so bad of a lane matchup, and that's a big part of the reason EG picked it here, is to force that matchup as well as it being good against the Invoker in the game. However, OG step it up a notch. They're like, okay, we need to solve this. You saw them in the booth, they were doing their math, and they've decided that they will put the Sanking position 4 and no tail is like 5 Rubik. That's how important it is for them to solve this problem. It was kind of a checkmate situation almost, but they got out of it. And now it's just a matter of, can they salvage the lanes? Can this work with this support duo? It's very unusual.
The panel was already saying, like, somehow No-Tail makes the support interest work as well. Now making the support Rubik work. How do you try and lane this up then to make it actually happen? We've seen Seb do his work. JerAx was, in my mind, amazing in game 2 on that ES. He's still going to play the same team role, team stunner, team fight role that OG really need from him as well. But how do you still ensure that No-Tail has a good game on this 5 Rubik?
Well, fortunately for him, he's laning with a strong carry in lane. Juggernaut is a pretty good laner, and there's no matchup in this that he totally can't deal with. So
it's not a combination, right? Like Rubik and Juggernaut together is spin and telekinesis grab. It's old, but it could still work.
But the problem with that is Rubik deals so little damage. That's the problem with that combo in the start. When Rubik hits level 3 and has 2 in Fate Bolt, sure. But if you compare it to something like Lich Jugger or Crystal Maiden Jugger, there's just way more in the way of damage from those 2 supports in the lane. So it's definitely a weaker version. But honestly, I just love it from OG that they're doing this, because I think it's a very creative and probably ideal solution to the problem that they have to solve. The question is if it's good enough. And it's also about what lanes they get. Because sure, you get the core Sanking out of the problem against Anti-Mage, but guess what? Support Sanking also hates facing Anti-Mage. So you still need to get the lanes right and go from there. And it looks like EG might have the right read in this game. They've put their tiny top so far.
And Anti-Mage is down on the bottom lane with Fly.
Yeah, they want the Anti-Mage to avoid the Ench. So that will mean Anti-Mage will not play against Sanking. So there's a bit of a win for both teams in that sense. Sanking will have a better time up here, but Anti-Mage will also be avoiding the Ench.
That was nice from Fly, right underneath the Juggernaut, grabs the rune. So it's 3 for 1 at the very beginning.
This aggro tri-lane from EG is very unorthodox, by the way. Crystal Maiden, Dark Willow, Anti-Mage aggro tri-lane.
It's like, you go for the Nova, then they have to navigate the Bramble at slow speed. Like, this can't last for long, can it?
Well, it's kind of good news for Ana, because he's good against this lane, but No-Tail could have a very hard time, and the question is how much farm he's going to get. Oh, that's some really good damage into Ana already, actually. They're playing without a healing salve. Meanwhile, bottom lane.
Yeah, bottom lane they go ham. SumaiL's taking a lot of damage. S4's having a hard time walking away from JerAx on the top. Got a nice observe ward onto, like, just on the other side of the trees, so they're able to see S4, any support that comes his way. Mainly the support from Fly.
He got 3 free hits in on Ana, just burning off the mana as fast as possible. So Ana has to dig into the mango to spin later, and then
that's a great bramble.
That's some serious damage.
Is he gonna spin? He hasn't let that thing up. Then 6, 0 HP. Ana is down. Crit gets the reach.
He refused to skill spin because he feels like he needs healing or to sustain. And he TP's back down. He still hasn't put in his skill point and hasn't bought any extra regen. There's no salve still coming in. No-Tail had the gold for it. Honestly surprised that they didn't drop some regen and bring that with Ana's TP.
And now that EG have the advantage, they're moving Fly to the top lane.
8 for 3 against 1-0. That's a tri-lane well executed in the start.
Bed. The jump came in, Topson and SumaiL. What a surprise, killing each other under the tier 1 tower. SumaiL gets the kill, so he'll get the XP.
Yeah, big winner there, SumaiL. He got more gold, and he got the experience. So he's going to feel good about that one.
Because that's just the way the mid lane gets to work when it's a 1-1 trade.
Sometimes the guy who gets the kill second is not as unfavored as Topson was in that exchange, but...
It's actually hilarious how they start again. Topson's back under the tier 1 tower, beating into SumaiL. They both have to start munching on tangos, and Dropping down a half-life bottom lane. Arteezy, he's going once again on Anna. Anna still holding the spin as Arteezy drops low. They just want to get some experience into them. While S4 enchanted up, buying JerAx some time to attack, and he's body blocking S4, trying to buy more time for Seb to get damage in, but S4 will just salve this off.
Sprites are with us.
In the meantime, bottom lane, they're out of regen. OG completely dry. Actually, never mind. Anna got a tango pack left. But no salve still, no regen, no mana, no tail.
Get the bramble. Christus, like, working with Arteezy, you burn up the mana, and then it's just easy harassment from range.
The good news for OG, though, is the top lane is going well. Seb has great farm. They're shutting down the Tiny nicely, as they should be, with the head start they had. But the other two lanes going well for EG. And this time around, Arteezy's not getting shut down. And the way they've been playing this series so far, I think you can consider this an early lead for them. That is what they want. Anti-Mage to have a beginning that he can work with. Is that a healing? That's a Ring of Health flying out? No, it's a Wraith Band and some more regen for Arteezy. So they can keep on the pressure.
Just loving it. Even the fort was used. I think that was actually so the tree toss from S4 wouldn't get the kill on the range creep on top lane. They're really just trying to keep him down as much as possible. And they have. He's, as you said, he's 5-0. The lane's looking good, but bottom lane, Arteezy just gets more and more time to beat into him. And now another root blink forward from Arteezy. Nortel navigating the brambles. He'll get the space, but he will not escape crit. Anna was trying to stand on top of him, I think, to make it a misclick from crit, but it won't work.
And I wonder how Anna's going to recover this time around. We saw in the Void game, the lane might have been a little bit hard, but he recovered nicely. This time around, it just feels harder. Their lane, this Rubik Jugger, how are they supposed to kill in this lane? It's an anti-mage and a Willow. Maybe you can get a lift on the Willow and toss it into a spin, but it's not enough damage, and the anti-mage is just flat out unkillable. Look at Willow just leaving Arteezy even to go into mid. They're trying to get Topson brambles.
Yeah, Topson! He was standing almost smack bang in the middle of one of crit, and he just moves a little bit further north and dodges.
Nice movement from Topson there. That could have absolutely been a kill.
And what does Anna and Nortel do instantly? All right, well, it's time to do some damage towards Arteezy. Hopefully I get one crit, and he got one.
Oh, he got tossed up top. Seb got tossed into the tower.
Too deep.
Oh no, he can't die here. That's real bad for OG's laning. That is such a big kill. Now JerAx might have to yield on the bounty runes too. He has no Enchantress to help him out, so OG will get 3 runes, or EG, sorry, will get 3 runes, maybe even 4. SumaiL.
He's moving over for it. That's a bottle charge too.
4 runes and a kill on the Ench. Seb was out of position and got tossed.
I like how Fly is not even grabbing it. He's waiting it out. Maybe he can even get some bottle charges if he wants to help out. JerAx waiting on the top lane. S4's nearby. They'll go for the Frost. Quick Mango. Anything they've got. JerAx, he's in bits for the moment. The tree toss, a little bit off target. JerAx able to dodge. But this is some time that's being wasted by SumaiL looking for this kill. He'll take the catapult up on top, but Topson's in recovery mode in mid, while this rotation doesn't net a kill.
Are EG going to swap their lanes so Tiny goes mid now, or what's the plan here?
Like
leaving the lane empty like this is a bit odd.
I think they're trying to wait until S4 returns to the lane, and now the TP happens.
Now he's half a level behind Topson, though.
Anna is getting forever rooted by crit on bottom lane. There's 1 tango left. He'll have to consume the mango in order to have enough to get the healing ward down, but how is he meant to be farming under here? And all instantly taken care of by crit. There's no sustain at all. It's almost like there's no hope for Anna down here.
And crit gets that extra mana coming in constantly from the Maiden Aura. He might be dying here, though, if Nortel gets the lift. JerAx is in range. Not anymore now. He's going to wrap around.
Like, which one's real? I need to choose. I prefer to get the kill over on Arteezy, but it seems impossible unless they have full control, pick up, throw down. Oh no! The spell shield's leveled up at 4, and Arteezy just trades places with JerAx. And then into Bramble, Arteezy jumps forward, S4's arrived with the avalanche. Crit, level 2 in Shadow Realm has more than enough damage to pop Anna once more, his 2nd death of the game.
That's going to be a Ring of Health for Arteezy now as well, coming in a sec. Going to be furthering his lead in this lane, making the harassment that bit harder.
I almost feel like Seb is taunting to try and get EG to come back to him.
Oh, I'm sure he's muted. Don't worry about it. There's no way. He's absolutely muted. So, Anti-Mage with the Ring of Health will be that bit harder to harass now for the Rubik. He's going to continue his farming down here in the bottom lane.
It really feels
difference,
like Topson's just had the last like 3 minutes by himself in mid lane.
That's the biggest difference between this game and the other Invoker game, is that Topson is having a much better time this time around, and we know what kind of tempo he can set for his team this kind of games. But does he have targets? It's hard to kill Willow as Invoker. It's hard to kill the Anti-Mage as Invoker. It's hard to kill Mirana as Invoker. And even the targets, it's easy to kill Maiden though. So that's nice.
It's almost like you need to pick up an Orchid in order to get the kills on these guys. So
I think
they counter you back.
He needs someone to combine with, but the best player for him to combine with is a Sankey. But he's
bottom lane. EMP, they just need to change the sound to make sure there's no blink away, and Arteezy. Spell Shield won't help you there.
4-man gank, the lift.
And instantly back into mid lane. He'll miss one melee creep. So efficient from Topson's rotation, but EG's trying one of their own. Under their own dire observer. Seb, you've been taunting for a while. You've been asking EG to kill you. And, well, you may get exactly what you wish for. Seb gets the 1 level of an attendance, stick charges, but he's got the Curse Crown on him. He can't walk this off, but TP's coming in from Rubik. Nortel will look to create the space, and Seb, well, he can walk it off. Even with his tree toss from S4, I don't think he's got enough damage, and even Nortel de-wards the ops.
Topson being super annoying mid. Arteezy does have the Maiden aura though, so we'll get mana for Blink a bit sooner. Has the stick charges if he really needs to blink.
Seb's just moving over. It's like, okay, well, Curse Crown me. Topson's ready to fight. Topson, in fact, please said stun me too. S4 able to do it, but JerAx, he gets a double stun of his own. They get the telekinesis grab over on S4, but JerAx, he's focusing over on Crit, using that cold snap for the control. S4 now comes up as well up the hill, realizes OG owns this part of the map with the infinite. He actually gets the damage. He'll die from the fall. JerAx, not the perfect player, but it'll still work nonetheless. SumaiL, burned out of mana. He's bottle charging up. Seb needs to give the attendance over towards Topson. Now they can turn their attack over. Fly, he's arrived as well, looking for that damage. Have they got enough? SumaiL has the lead distance to get away to safety. And Crit, he wants to turn around. Topson, again, that Curse Crown. It's going to get the stun. The boss, it will not be enough life and sustain to keep Topson alive, and SumaiL will quite happily take that kill.
Man, there's so much happening on the map right now. And guess who the biggest winner is, as it always is with OG? Anna was bottom the whole time. So much space being made for him. He's caught up. He's actually overtaken Arteezy now after that very difficult laning stage in the beginning. The 1 kill they got bottom, and then this move mid created a lot of time for him.
10-minute runes, here we go again. If you thought it was going to simmer down, JerAx will take the bounty to begin with. They're looking over towards Crit. JerAx looking to actually cut through. It's a level 3 burrow, so he's not in range. And the Shadow Realm being used to just protect Crit for the moment. And he'll slap an extra attack into Nortel for sure. Meanwhile, Topson alone in mid lane.
Yep.
It feels like the old classic. As you said, like Anna gets space, but then when you go down to deal with Anna, you deal with another lane, then Topson gets space. Like, which poison do you want to die to here? The only other choice is to kill them all. EMP Tornado from Topson in mid. Crit, he's ready to move around to work here with Fly. SumaiL will take the damage. Got the 1 charge with the Curse Crown, and Focus are walking out of here. He'll go invis, but it won't help him.
In the meantime, though, Arteezy is not getting a single creep. OG are putting their own pressure up top where Arteezy is playing. With the siege creep,
TP, Arteezy jumps in, untouchable. That takes a long time to get 1 attack into Seb. He'll move into the trees. The attendance is they're going to wear off right now. But Arteezy's blinked himself forward, so Seb is quite happy to do max damage to that anti-mage. A quick Curse Crown on JerAx. He's got Fire Strike available, waits it out nicely, gets the stun through the Shadow Realm, and then dodges the arrow of SumaiL a little late. And now that leaves Crit stranded. There's little to no damage he can do to get any kind of rebuttal, and the rest of his team has left him for dead.
I think the arrow wasn't ready, or SumaiL would have definitely got that on the crown. Probably had a minor cooldown from the... Oh, did he even use it? I'm actually not sure. That was just...
On the crown? The arrow? It got thrown at the end, yeah.
Yeah, that was a guaranteed stun if he used it earlier, so maybe it was on cooldown there. S4 will be pressuring bottom while all this is happening. Yes.
And what does Seb do?
Seb's gonna defend it for now. Yep. He just walks in.
That's fine. What are these creeps gonna do? They'll swing their arms up in the air. For Detroit. A lovely city.
Damn it.
Oh, I got it before you.
Oh.
Hey.
My joke.
Hey, I got you with the Ghostbusters, man. I got you with the Ghostbusters.
Oh, I was not thinking about that.
Nah. Does anyone even know what that song is, or are we just proving our age?
Nah, everybody knows that song.
Really hope so. Most people don't even know what Bonanza is.
TP top from S4. They want to try on Ana here. This kill is actually flat out impossible for these two heroes. He can spin CP out.
Yep. Problem with the Avalanche, never a permanent.
He doesn't have a TP.
Oh, Shadow Roll will take out the healing ward. JerAx is nearby. You may have to burst or create some space, or he's just like, okay, Hannah, I'm sorry, man. You can only slash if you want to, but you're dead.
Oh, I didn't click him to check he had a TP before that, but EG very clearly did, and they ran him down. That is a huge kill. He was the richest hero on the map. This seems to happen once or twice in every game. Ana is just being left alone and will get killed once in a while. These kills are big.
I remember the analyst panel, they're talking about like the way OG plays, like, hey, we're up on the top lane, and it was always Seb who was kind of the one who was out too far. It's like, hey, come and kill me. How many heroes did it take from EG to kill off the Juggernaut? Yeah, he's worth a lot, but then you get heavy damage into the tier 1 towers. Seb, who was the #1, they're giving more back into him, and he's going to try and return it in with a drums build early on. And just add that level of pressure. And meanwhile, Topson also farming up. Straight into Spirit Vessel, no Hand of Midas on this Invoker.
And there's another big item coming up soon. This one is for EG though. It's going to be the dagger for S4 and 100 gold. Some really good targets for him in this game. A lot of the Radiant heroes don't have too much max health. The Rubik support dies very easily. The Invoker dies really easily. The Enchantress also dies easily if there's a little bit of follow-up. Speaking of Enchantress, they're actually, again, they're trying, I mean, it's not happening.
No. There's more support coming in under the cover of smoke to both sides. Arteezy was being hunted, but Arteezy's game sense is tingling. And he just moves away and goes down to the Trinity camp we were talking about. I'm being invaded in my own jungle. The Observers and Sentries now being dewatered with bottom lane. Seb, yep.
Okay.
Fly, okay. Hey, real CMs channel full duration.
They threw everything in the kitchen at him. Not just the sink that time.
Well, they'll get a lot of it back. SumaiL's found a regeneration rune in bottom river.
SumaiL not skilling Moonlight Shadow, by the way. What is this? Not a single point in it? I mean, he could only have one, but he's level 10.
He went for the 200 health instead.
It can be really useful for his team. Like, it can be the difference maker, but whether AM survives a gank or not. Is that worth 1 point in arrow? What the? Okay.
I was actually kind of wondering too, like how he would build in. We were kind of tossing up like where do you get a lot of your physical damage from? Like how do you make sure you like obviously there's no physical build coming in this time around. There's 200 health. We're not going to 15 damage, and he's going in for Aghanim Scepter. Huge lane clearance, and something that OG may not have an easy answer to. Like both cores are going for Battle Furies, but Anti-Mage as well as Mirana, they can clean waves up so quickly, and they're so highly maneuverable.
Mid tower.
Yep. TP comes in. Avalanche. Quick spin from Ana. The fear will be there, and that's going to force the Enchantress to run away. But Ana's in pretty deep. Still has Omnislash available. The heavy amount of damage thanks to the Demon Head. And Chris, well, he'll stand there, and he'll tank the entire Omnislash. As the rest of EG back up behind the tier 2.
It was a good idea from S4, but he missed the toss on the Jugger. He tossed a creep instead that got in the way.
Seb, you're coming in deep, man. Like, they're under a shrine. He's got a lot more. Avalanche tops up into the arrow, and Topson's trying to help out with the Cold Snap, pushing SumaiL away. Enchantress now going to get the sprites off. Nortel's still there. The Mana Void. That's easy. The EMP. They're all both dry. It is an absolute drought of EG. Oh, Arteezy's not going to be happy with that one. The arrow from SumaiL well off target of Invoker. Colson's coming off cooldown right now. The Cursed Crown. Oh, everyone stands together and gets done. Maybe there's some damage from the Bedlam, but then the Fire Throw from JerAx picking up crit. And this game has escalated quickly. Meanwhile, Ana up in Norway, farming the top lane.
It feels like, I don't know how Enchantress manages to do this in her games, to just tempt everyone to try for these hard kills. If it's just a tilt effect, like you get annoyed, you're like, just kill the Enchantress, but...
Let's just get him. Let's just get him.
It's really costing EG here that they try to go for these Enchantress kills. They've got 2 on her, but how many have they failed, and how much time has that cost them?
It's cost them a lot. Juggernaut has finished a Battle Fury before the Anti-Mage.
Way before. Arteezy is not even close. He's 2,000 gold away from it right now.
The graph in golden experience gets to swing up. EG has obliged OG with a lot of fights, but they need to be able to settle this game down. They need the Aghanims, they need the split push, they need the Battle Fury, they need a lot of things. But what is OG doing? Not giving them the room to breathe. Already attacking into the tier 2 tower on bottom lane.
The tempo is so high now from OG. Now they can kind of do whatever they want. Sand will get a dagger very soon. Yep, they're gonna dive at 4.
Nortel stunned up continuously, but they'll still get the grab. Pulling back down again. Burrow strikes at Valve, making sure Esports does not get up the hill. Crossfight from Fly can't create enough space. And there is no other support coming in from EG. Instead it was coming from OG. And now it's a 17-minute blink dagger for a support SK. We're wondering how you can make these two very not financially viable supports when it's so hard 5, but this works when JerAx has a blink dagger as fast as the normal offlane to get them.
Mel gets a DD.
Very uncertain about fighting against JerAx even with that DD.
Yeah, he was thinking about it, but didn't want to go.
Good observers and sentries from EG. JerAx, oh, he'll cop that arrow. Still under sentry. SumaiL can claim that kill nice and quick. And then S4, he'll jump in as well. They're going after the supports and they've got him. SumaiL with the double kill. Turn your attention over towards Seb. It'll take a long time to attack into him. The EMP burn is also there from Topson, making life a little bit more difficult for the Dark Willow. And Seb, he wants to battle. They have sentry versus sentry. Somebody get rid of that. Fly's moving forward. You can definitely see them. They're sentries. Well,
oh, that's a good combo.
Really good jump in. The Bramble, he'll catch out Anna. He's got Omni Slash. He can turn around right now. There's only one creep that's there. They're doing all the spin damage into S4, then he has to burn the ultimates from Anna. He'll crit at the end.
I think S4, or sorry, not S4. I think SumaiL couldn't arrow because Seb just kept running in front of him, so they couldn't combo on that to get another kill.
The observer was, bless them see. Fly, he knew he had to dodge. Moved out to the side, and then just is easy pickings.
I'd love to see a replay of that because that was so beautifully executed from EG, how they did the avalanche toss into the terrorize on the jugger. All they needed was to connect an arrow, but I think Seb just ran in front of the SumaiL Mirana and he couldn't land it. That's got to be what happened, and that's huge for the outcome of that. Instead of losing their biggest core, they get 2 kills. And sure, Arteezy's getting some space, but man, this is, by his standards, super late battle period. And he had a good start, too.
And Crit's dead. EMP Tornado catching him up on the top, but Shadow Realm will add some protection. He's got no more mana to work with. We'll get the damage into Nortel, hung around a little longer. Arrow, it flies forward. A nice long 5-second stun. Over on the Rubik will now go down and fly. They kill off Topson. EG, they needed something, and that's something. Seb? Okay. I'll do this solo. Maybe I won't. Anna's nearby. Arteezy. Spell, counter spell up and running. Anna's not going to take that risk of an Omni Slash. Maybe now it's time to pick up those bounty runes. 4 of them on the field. They've been there for 30 seconds. An unusual occurrence for 20-minute bounty runes.
Yep.
But there's just so much fighting with 26 kills 20 minutes into this game.
SumaiL with the scouting arrow. Doesn't find anyone. If JerAx knew, he would have taken the other one, I think, as well. He gets one. And that's, I think, 3 for 1 trade on bounty runes in total. Once Anna gets his shit together and takes this one. He doesn't want it, I don't know. He wants to push the wave first, that's fine. Now he's going to take it on the way back. Fun. Big camp.
And JerAx is really just trying to stay on Arteezy like a tick.
Dude, is he doing this to just annoy us? It's there. He's not baiting it either.
It's income. It's coming in value. Maybe 1 gold, but it's value.
He felt like nobody from EG was going to come and try to take that. Because it was not set up as a bait. There was nobody there that would have killed on the ring.
Your alacrity buff ups up. Attack speed increased by 100, damage by 10. And Roshan, difficult to kill off. Once again, this Enchantress. Even Roshan thinks he's untouchable. So what does EG do? They scan Roshan. They know what's going on, but how fast can you move over? You're gathering for a smoke, but Roshan's practically dead. 1.4k, 1k, and they're instead going for what? Nothing. TP over does nothing. They stay with the lanes.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And JerAx is set up bottom. They want to connect over and try to kill Arteezy probably. Never mind. He's not going to go for it. Just going to push out the wave.
Just counterspelling just in case. OG can move up through mid. It has been the name of their game throughout this tournament. 20 minutes, 22 minutes hits. Let's go high ground, boys. Anna, the front liner. Alacrity him up. Able to get Quick and tangle, but hey, spin's also great for mana. SumaiL's getting some level of damage.
They have so much sustain. They have the Enchantress heal, they have Healing Ward. They're going to go in with the next wave. He has the spin and Electricity. They're just going to slowly chip this down. And Arteezy, in the meantime, has to try to get as much as possible. They don't want to take this fight because, realistically, OG are not favored in this.
Here we go again. Spin, attack, Fortify has to be used. Arteezy, as he said, like, he's refusing to join this fight. EG just have to hold the high ground.
They might have to lose a Rex, too, actually, before they can fight. I think Arteezy without Manta in this game is not going to be particularly useful.
Topson's hunting. 460 move speed inside of that Ghost Walk.
Yeah.
Looking for a target, actually, just inside the smoke. Like, that's
OG
not Ghost
backing
Walk.
off, this became pretty obvious to Arteezy that something is up. But this is the thing about Cross-Wix Invoker compared to Exort Invoker, is Invokers playing this build are generally really high on mana, so you will be looking for, okay, maybe Arteezy can come in toward the end of the fight, get a big mana void that gets kills, but if you hit the CMP on a couple of heroes, you're super high on mana the whole time. And even that won't be an option for him.
EG's coming out. Moonlight Shadow and Smoke being committed. They want to wrap around the back. They want to do something about JerAx. You probably need a ward up on this hillside to make it happen. CM's got one, both Sentry and Observer. Fly drops the Sentry to begin with, Observer straight after. So while that's been happening, there was no defense. Tier 3 tower is gone. There's even a couple of creeps to help the push go. Anna spins. Now he's going to take the melee ranks. You said EG may have to pay the price. The tops, they find one in deep. Seb under the tier 4 towers. The arrow looking to connect as well, but the Omni Slash. S4, he's just totally stranded. Anna will find the kill. Fly trying to let it go. Anna taking through all of this, however. The sustain. I thought EG are meant to be Captain America, but OG, they can do this all day. And the cold snap. There's nothing to follow it up. 14 HP. The Sunstrike. No, you've got no tail. He stole the blink from Anti-Mage and jumps in. Of course you can do that. Finds the kill. Nice chainsaw. Over on top to 5 seconds up. And there's no one from EG who can get close. JerAx comes in with the epicenter, expecting EG to engage, but they're not there. As OG look for another lane of rats. Pushing through. Crit. He's getting the chip damage into Topson. Where's your jump? Arteezy is still farming in mid lane. He will not join. Animate has not finished farming, but S4 is dead for 70 seconds. He's losing his teammates. And what does Arteezy want to do? The answer for Anti-Mage, keep on farming. What's OG gonna do?
Keep on pushing.
Sounds good to me.
There's no Tiny for 50 seconds. This is... It's over. They don't have the damage. They can't kill these heroes, I think. Jump in.
Look for your target. Marana, SumaiL. He's leaping the wrong direction, but he had no other choice. He tried to get the Aghanim damage out, and now he doesn't have a way free. Arteezy's trying to grab the creep waves, but they're all pushed in. The bottom lane's pushed in, which is allowing this pressure from OG up on the top as Fly. Man, JerAx, he doesn't give to. He's got defensive heal set for available. Will get some chip damage into Notal, but he has to fight. BKB is up for Arteezy. Now's the time, but he's getting picked up, thrown away. All that farming, and what did it achieve? Arteezy, well, he'll achieve one kill over onto Notal. He'll blink away. Regeneration is required. Salving up so they can get back to the front lines. They can't lose all these lanes of ranks. Tiny is back up again. The TP's coming to the sideline. Here comes S4. Avalanche, top. They look towards Topson, and maybe they got enough damage. Arteezy, the barrage from JerAx. It'll connect. The spell shield. It wasn't there to actually protect it. Now S4 is stranded. It was a hallelujah play from EG, but right now the gods are on the side of OG. Seb will get himself a double kill. The two big claws there for so long. Hagen's Immortal will give Adam back his life. There's a time rope, no net. I'm fairly certain the rope's on fire.
This happened really fast. I just want to point out how fast this happened. The game was really, really even for the first 15 minutes. And then we have this one moment where OG get multiple kills, Arteezy shows up and dies. And since then, it's been OG all the way to get the Roach. They go push with their invincible Jugger with healing.
Oh, SumaiL. up in the air. Cole NaVI can leap away. This is the last chance for EG. All 5 players up. There is no Raxus, no tier 4 towers to really speak of, just the one. Mirana jumps in, but Anna still stands his ground. Where's the attack? EG gather on the no-tail flag, looking for an opportunity, and Anna, he's begging for it. He's got Mana Style, he's ready to dodge. They're into the trees. Arteezy blinks away, and maybe Topson, he'll be sent up towards the air. The Ghost Crown is there. He'll be able to get the nice chainstone. Chris on life. Arteezy getting some